A new ranking, and I'm going to add, in my view, a highly questionable ranking of presidents, is turning heads after Biden came in higher than both Donald Trump and Ronald Reagan in his wildest dreams. The survey was done by the Presidential Greatness Project, who claim to be the foremost organization of social science experts in presidential politics. They may be the foremost example of the disconnect between ivory tower academia and real people. That aside, Abe Lincoln ranked first. Okay, fair. Then comes Obama at 7th, and Biden came in 14th, actually beating Ronald Reagan, who came in 16th, and Trump dead last. Look, Lisa, where to begin? This is infuriating in so many ways. 154 respondents. They are the ivory tower elites who in no way represent the view of the American people.
No, but it also goes to show you, though, how history can be written, and some of it can be built off a lie as well. But no, this list is bogus. Everyone knows that, you know.
And so the Democrats and the Republicans in the Senate got together and miraculously, after decades of lethargy and indifference and sandbagging and sabotage, arrived at a border compromise package with billions of dollars of new investment for Border Patrol officers, immigration and asylum judges, better surveillance and detection technology for fentanyl and other kinds of drugs. And then the fourth branch of government, Donald Trump, acting with the fifth branch of government, Vladimir Putin, blew up the whole package. Why? Because Donald Trump doesn't want a border solution. He wants a border problem to run on. And of course, Vladimir Putin doesn't want $60 billion going to President Zelensky and the people of Ukraine trying to defend their land and their people and their institutions. And so they just wrecked the whole thing.
Have a mountain of it right now, and we need to do the same. So I think you need to reestablish that people can feel good about donating to the RNC, which right now, you know, some people aren't really sure how is their money being spent. What I can assure you is if I am there, I will make sure that every single penny donated to the RNC goes to electing Donald Trump and, again, extending our lead in the House and taking back the Senate. I think, look, we need poll watchers in places all across this country. If you want to volunteer right now, you can go to donaldjtrump.com and sign up to be a volunteer. The truth is we really need to have people in place, legal people in place on Election Day, so that if there are any challenges, anything questionable at all, we are ready to strike at a moment's notice. And we really have to hit this thing head on. We have a lot of work to do. There's a little time to go between now and November 5th. And look, we're going to hit the ground running as soon as, and if I am elected as co-chair of the RNC.
And AGs to show us that. Show us that. I'm inviting you to show me that no one is above the law while we have Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and all of his friends up in D.C. and the deep state that have not been touched. Show me no one is above the law, Martha, because I'm not seeing that. Do you know what I'm seeing in court in these cases is that everyone is above the law if they're friends with Miss James, if they're friends with D.A. Bragg, and if they're friends with Fani Willis and Jack Smith. The only person that is not, the only person who did nothing wrong but will still get persecuted and prosecuted is President Trump because they can't beat him in November. So I want to use their words against them and invite them to show me how no one is actually above the law, because there are people that we know have broken laws, and we have not seen the system of justice be used the same for them as they are for President Trump. President Trump did nothing wrong. He's being persecuted. Show me the people that did real crime get persecuted and prosecuted. I want to see that.
Some of those people.
Well, that's why the New York Post call it Pyrrhic, right? Which is essentially a victory, but at what cost? A victory that isn't worth the victory. Joe, to Lisa's point, you know, she says it's going to drive businesses away. No pun intended, that there are truckers for Trump that are now refusing to drive into this state. I'm just one of the many millions of truckers, wrote one, who believe in God and love this country. I stand with Trump because Trump stands with me. Truckers for Trump ain't just a slogan, it's real. And I noted one of the comments to his post as he was saying, as a commercial truck driver, I will no longer be driving into this state while this is happening. And the user, the comment said, thank you for being a true patriot. If all of us patriots stand up, we will make a difference. We have to push back against the ones trying to purposely destroy our country. And I can't help but underline that is how everyone is perceiving this abomination of a ruling that had no victims.
This is called the boomerang effect that we're seeing now, like with these truckers, for example. You brought up.
Senator, can I ask you, because you have had conversations with Elon Musk in the past, and obviously he wants to move some of his business interest to Texas now as a result of what's happened with him in Delaware. Do you still talk to Elon Musk?
I do. Elon has become a friend. I think Elon's decision to step in and buy Twitter was the single biggest step for free speech in decades. And it changed the playing field. You know, big tech had an oligopoly. There were a handful of all-powerful companies, and they kept all the information quiet and hidden. And what Elon did when he bought Twitter and he turned it into X is that he went open kimono. He released all of the emails internally that made...
Have a debate. Let's have a debate in Eagle Pass, Texas, and solve for the American people the one thing we all can see with our own eyes. The left want an open, insecure border. The conservatives and common sense independents, we want a secure America, which means you have to control your back door. And then let's move it. Here's what we both know, that Donald Trump led this nation to the best 4 years economically in my lifetime. We had the lowest unemployment for African Americans, for Hispanics. We had the lowest for Asians, a 70-year low for women. It's one.
And we are witnessing a domino effect in Alabama after the state Supreme Court ruled frozen embryos are children. That means today, 2 more health centers announced that they are pausing some types of IVF treatment, bringing the total number of clinics putting a hold there to 3.
Advocates for reproductive rights warn that this ruling would have devastating consequences. And now the Biden campaign is calling Alabama's decision, quote, a blueprint for Republicans' extreme MAGA reproductive agenda.
And I was able to bring this issue for the first time in 54 years back to the states where everybody agrees on both sides. Everybody agrees that's where it should be, back in the states. It was so important. Everybody on both sides. And they are the radicals. Remember this.
It'll be a tough time because they can't give up. They know a lot of these people are going to go to jail when Donald Trump gets elected. And I'm going to be right there helping.
I'm going to be glued to the TV when that's happening.
Donald Trump's going to get elected. We'll take back over, and we're going to put Christian values back in this country and tell, you know, we've got unions. You know, unions at one time were good for this country, but not unions for our teachers in our schools, because they have absolutely been the ones that drag our country down.
When I was a little boy, I liked little girls. This is a good thing. This is the natural order that keeps society progressing. We also have to understand...
Forced this war because we kept forcing NATO on Ukraine and showing Russia, hey, we're going to build military bases on your borders. And Putin said, no, you're not going to do that. And
as you know, the left is trying to shame Christians. They try and shame us. I'm a very proud Christian, actually. I've been very busy fighting and, you know, taking the bullets, taking the arrows. I'm taking them for you, and I'm so honored to take them. You have no idea. I'm being indicted for you, as I say. I'm being indicted over and over and over. The stand is that, in the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. We do. We answer to God in heaven. So today I come before you as a friend and an ally and a fellow believer to ask for your help and your support and your prayers for this country. We need your prayers, most importantly. And I make you a simple promise. In my first term, I fought for Christians harder than any president has ever done before. You know that. You know that.